Welcome to Granny Shifting. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jason.
This is minute 56 of The Fast and the Furious.
What's in the envelope, Ryan?
Only time will tell.
Well,
and that time is now.
Yeah, good. So we get some pictures.
Yeah. So he goes on to tell us about how Dominic isn't as self-controlled as Brian may think because he beat a guy nearly to death with a 3/4 inch torque wrench.
So when I was a little younger watching this, I remember, or maybe just because it happens, we get to analyze things a little bit better here. But I hear 3/4 torque wrench, and I think of a little 3/4 inch wrench for a 3/4 inch bolt.
Oh, like a
Not
box
that
wrench.
big. I'm like, this dude in the picture here is beat. Like,
yes.
It looks bad. And I'm thinking, all right, like that's what'd you call it? A box wrench?
Yeah, I mean that's what like a 3/4 inch.
It has a circle on one end, open end on the other. Okay, but he's saying a 3/4 inch torque wrench. That would be a huge tool.
Yeah,
huge.
I mean, yeah, because you don't even use that on cars.
No,
there's nothing that you would use that on a car.
Because a 1/2 inch torque wrench is big, but the only reason you'd go 3/4 inch is if you need a really high torque, which means it's really long.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could use that. I know some crank pulleys require a lot of torque.
Okay, yeah.
Like that keeps on your main pulley there.
Right.
Because I know we sometimes have to use like an inch drive impact gun to get them off.
Dude, they can be a bear to get off.
Yeah. So I could see maybe needing that.
I use a starter.
A what?
Try that?
No.
Put a breaker bar on it. Just jog the starter.
Oh, I see.
Because they're reverse spun, and so the breaker bar will swing over, slam into the floor, and it breaks the nut loose.
Couldn't you already just have it on the floor?
Yeah, you start it close, but there's still some sort of...
Right.
You need a little bit of, like...
To jar it
impact.
Loose, or else it won't even jump.
Yeah. It works.
We don't have to do that where we work.
You got real tools?
Yeah.
It's a little different when you're in your garage.
Yeah.
Doing transmissions off of your jack stand.
Shade tree mechanic, we call that. So this guy's beat. Yeah. Like, he does not look good.
Yeah, Dom did some damage.
Yeah, so he's just making a point that Dom isn't self-controlled.
Yeah, because Brian was trying to make the point that Dom is too controlled to pull off a stunt like robbing a truck. But, he's obviously not.
Yeah. He says he needs a couple more days. Give him a couple more days, he'll get this case cracked.
And then hip-hop music plays.
Hip-hop.
Oh, we didn't identify the song.
Oh, man. That's too bad.
Too bad.
But we talked about...
You listeners identify it for us.
Something we skipped over last minute was Brian's boss asked him if he's gone native on him. Meaning talking about Mia. Because Brian obviously is attracted to Mia. They've gone on a date.
Possibly a shower.
Right.
Well.
Whatever you want to call that. No, I don't. Have they gone to Cha-Cha-Cha's yet? Or is that what's about to happen?
No, yeah, they didn't do that yet.
Yeah.
She might have sent him home, or she might have took him home. And then they might be going on a date.
To Cha-Cha-Cha's.
Right.
Yeah. So.
What's your point, though? The native. Because I was going somewhere else with that.
I don't know. I just want to bring that up because obviously the police are concerned that Brian is getting in too deep with Dom's girlfriend. Or Dom's sister. And Brian is really walking on thin ice here if he's actually going out on a date, because we find out soon after here that he is going out on a date with Mia. And that seems like a very bad professional choice.
I kind of thought maybe native, because they're talking about him getting in deep and maybe him not doing his job 100%.
Right.
And then referring to him as going native, as maybe that's where he came from originally. And now he's going back to that.
Yeah, I was going to look up what going native means. But I don't think that's necessary.
What does going native mean?
To allow web search content, you'll need to change settings on your device.
Oh,
yeah, man. Jason, get it right.
Try yours. Try your Android.
It's not Android.
Hey, Google Chrome. What's going native mean?
What does going native mean?
Is he going to talk to us, or it's not serious?
According to English Stack Exchange, To adopt the lifestyle or outlook of local inhabitants, especially when dwelling in a colonial region, to become less refined under the influence of a less cultured, more primitive, or simpler social environment.
So basically, he's taking on the same characteristics of the people around him.
I was not expecting to learn vocabulary from the Fast and the Furious.
To adopt the lifestyle or outlook of the local inhabitants.
Like,
so
they're using words we don't understand, Ryan.
Like fence
this hurts
and
a little bit.
top echelon and native.
Yeah.
I mean, we know what native means, like if someone is native to.
Right.
But what is going native?
Yeah,
like
that
that's
context.
kind of out of
and the fence thing makes sense now.
Right.
But I never heard it before.
Okay, so we switch scenes. Brian says he needs a few more days. We switch scenes to Dom's garage or Dom's shop.
Yeah.
Which I thought was at his house, but we find out that it's not.
And we got a beautiful 2JZ.
That is not the one that they pulled out. It's a totally different engine.
Right. That is a completely different engine.
Or they did a lot of refurb to it.
I don't think even the valve cover is... I mean, you could get different valve covers, I guess. Everything looks different on that, though.
I do like Jesse's description here. I don't know if I can back up enough so you can see it, but he's talking about the
TR7 here with a ball bearing upgrade. The TR7
turbo.
Yeah, I don't know what a TR7 is. But
and what it's going to do is it's going to spool up really quick. Okay, perfect.
So that's true. So like
that's like just a statement. Like
right.
What the tire's going to do, it's going to go around and around really quick.
Right.
Like that's like
right. Well, that's good, but everyone should know that like okay, so it being ball bearing would help it spool a little faster. But
really
anybody in that garage that's turning a wrench on an engine like that would know that.
Like who is he talking to?
Probably us. But
the cameraman.
Yeah. And then
it's like he's doing like a documentary. He's like on what's that show where they build cars?
Garage Wars.
Garage Wars. It could be
Junkyard Wars.
Any 100 of them that are out there.
OC Choppers.
But like he's like talking like as he's working, so we as the viewer know what's happening.
So
Letty says she's got it set for 24 psi.
Yeah, and so that's weird too because that's not usually something you set.
Especially
pressure,
not before it's in the car.
Right. So you can put a spring in the wastegate, which would change depending on the weight of the spring, what pressure the turbo would open the wastegate at. So that's what it would hold. Normally, that's a really low pressure, like 5 psi, and then you run a second boost controller, either a manual one that you'd adjust during tuning, or an electronic one that'd be in the cabin, which is probably most common because you can have like a low boost setting and a high boost setting, and you can click between them. So if you're just
like
cruising,
daily driving, low boost setting.
Right.
But if you line up against like a Ferrari,
yeah,
hit that button,
hit that high boost setting.
button.
Yeah. So 24 psi.
It's pretty high
on a big turbo. It's pretty high.
Here, music continues.
And
Thanks,
Dom
subtitles.
Drops a intercooler just right in. Just thumps her down in.
He's in there. And what's Brian doing? He's checking fuses or something. He's got his digital multimeter. And but Dom's asking Brian, so you got big plans tonight?
Yeah, there's some good bonding.
It sounds like just like normal chit chat. That's what you gonna do tonight.
Oh, but he knows. He knows something.
Yeah. But then Brian says we're going out to dinner. So now we start to realize it's Brian and Mia going out to dinner together.
Okay, is Von Dutch the name of his shop?
I think it's a clothing line, isn't it?
He just wears that same shirt?
I think it's a clothing line.
Is it the same color shirt?
It's like his work shirt.
And you're right, he is thinning on the crest.
What is Von Dutch?
You see that? He's a little thin up on the crest.
American multinational apparel brand.
Wow.
Named after Kenny Howard, an American artist and pinstriper of custom culture movement.
All right, let me get this straight. Your name's Kenny Howard, and we're going to name a clothing line after you called Von Dutch.
Yeah, that was his like nickname.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Named after Kenny Howard, a.k.a. Von Dutch. I'm not sure what that means, but Dom makes a
He's a big Kenny
lethal
Howard fan.
threat to Brian here.
You break her heart, I'll break your neck.
That could kill somebody.
Yeah.
Or just paralyze you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good T-shirt to me.
And Brian's like, we got all kinds of T-shirt ideas.
Would you wear that? You break her heart, I'll break your neck. I'm trying to think.
No, I wouldn't wear that.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive.
Yeah.
Is that like a...
I'd wear a Von Dutch shirt.
It's something you say, though, to your, like, would you?
Yeah.
Purple?
I'd cut the sleeves off, though, to show off my muscles more.
How about the buttons? Would you unbutton it that far?
A whole way. Maybe just the top button.
Do your mechanics wear button-ups at work?
No. T-shirts. But I mean, some places do. When I worked at Midas, we had button-ups.
Okay. I guess it's not that weird.
It's kind of like an older mechanic thing to wear button-up shirts.
Okay. Yeah, like the 2001s.
Like the Dickies shirts.
Yeah,
Are
that's
all
true.
button-up.
They're probably snaps.
Probably.
Easy access. You know, in case it's like a onesie or something.
Right.
All right, so we got 15 seconds here.
Okay. Oh, man. Look at that shot of Brian.
Wow.
Wow. Look at his eyes.
Now, his eyes aren't like golden blue.
Right.
That's how I would describe them. Golden blue. They're like ice
regular.
cold.
Dentine ice blue.
Dentine ice blue. Because they're matching his shirt again.
Yeah.
He's got a gray shirt on now.
Look at that TR7 turbo in the background. That's
That
nice
is a
looking.
big turbo.
It is. So
Wow.
much chrome. But so he's like he's feeling confident. That's not going to happen. You're not going to break my neck. But like as he's saying this, he's got to be thinking in his head, this is not my life. Like,
Yeah, and he's saying like, "Oh, I'm required to break her heart.
Right.
There's
Like,
no way
no
I
way
don't
this
break her heart."
Right. There's no way this ends right. So that's
But he's saying it like he believes it.
yeah.
He's a good actor.
He really does. I think he really likes her. He
I
actually
mean,
for real.
You're not going to hear me say
real, for
that
real.
about Paul Walker a whole lot.
That he's
but-
a good actor.
But when he's pretending to be a good actor,
Brian O'Connor is a good actor.
Ryan O'Connor's a good actor.
Paul Walker not as much.
Good looking, but
Right. Yeah.
not so good acting.
Piercing dentine ice eyes.
He's got that Cameron Diaz syndrome.
What's that mean?
He looks good. His acting's just not so good.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, so Dom wants to show Brian something.
Sorry, Cameron Diaz. Hit me up in the DMs. We'll work it out.
I wanted to see him get out of that engine bay. That's what I wanted to see. Him like crawling over the fender.
I don't know if I've ever worked out. Maybe.
If the engine was completely gone, I guess it's easier that
Once
way.
the engine's out there, there's not a whole lot you need to do in there.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't be fitting an intercooler up without the engine in.
Yeah, I guess probably not. That's usually like the first thing you take out when you
Yeah.
remove an engine.
And you need to know your clearances from all your pulleys. And I don't know if you noticed on that 2J, they had a
huge,
big old fan.
Yeah, I saw that.
What would that be?
It's
like
just
for the alternator or something?
I don't know what that was.
Can you
I
get
don't know
back
if we
to
can
that?
jump back to it.
That was right before that.
I mean,
Click back. Yeah. A little before that.
All right, we'll just jump back
Yeah.
15 seconds.
So I'm trying to think what you would have a power steering pump. You'd have an alternator.
Water pump. It's
Would
got to be
that be the water pump?
But I don't. Where's the pulley even?
Yeah, there's no pulley.
I just want to go back like a second here, if I can manage
All right.
that.
So somebody knows this engine better than me, and they can tell us.
So nothing's really on this engine right now.
So there's your tensioner.
Yeah, that's all that is.
There's your bracket spot on the right there that you'd mount your power steering down one. A little rusty still. Yep. It looks like your alternator location to me, but
there's nothing there. It's got to be the water pump.
yeah, and I guess your water pump could be there too. Oh no, that is the water pump location. The water pump sits right there because when you do on these engines,
But there's no pulley. Where's the pulley
you
at?
cannot do the water pump without doing the timing belt.
Well, the timing belt's in here.
Yeah, but you have to take the timing belt off to do the water pump.
So why is this huge heat sink out here? If the water pump is under here. You're telling me it's timing belt driven. I just don't understand why this huge heat sink is out here.
I don't know if it's driven. I just remember you have to do them at the same time because of the way.
Yeah, a lot of vehicles are like that.
Something.
I mean, a lot of vehicles, its water pump is timing belt driven.
How much would you charge me for a timing belt job on a Toyota Supra?
I don't know. I don't have these things memorized.
Fabian would tell me right away.
Yeah, he would come up with a number. Now, what were we talking about? One thing, you were talking about the power steering, where the power steering would mount.
2 wastegates on that.
But I did notice that when you go back to the dom inside the car, you can see the power steering. It's right there.
Where?
Right there. That's a power steering cap.
Electric power steering pump.
No, it's just a cap to the reservoir.
Oh, but it needs a pump.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times the reservoir is on top of the pump. Not always, but a lot of times.
It'd be weird to have that mounted in the engine still. Yeah.
Who knows? It
You're
could
right.
be separate.
It did look like a power steering pump cap.
Yeah. So I'm glad we got that figured out.
Yeah. So if you guys were wondering, now you know.
Right. I mean, we're still not sure, but now you know.
But it's fair to point out the Supra's looking pretty straight.
Yeah.
It's not crushed. It's primer now.
Yeah.
But it's not a crushed Supra anymore.
They pulled it. They got their, what is that thing called? Slide hammer. Got a slide hammer out.
And they straightened
pulled that John.
the A pillars out.
Yes.
And the B pillars.
Every pillar.
I'll tell you what. That is a good looking RX-7.
Oh, yeah.
So now, so Dom says he has something he wants to show Brian.
Yeah.
And now we see the RX-7 flying into this uneven driveway.
Yeah, they love flying into this driveway.
It is good they don't lower their cars.
They must have expensive brake pads because they're scared to use them.
Now, is this back at the crib where they had lunch the other day?
Yeah, this is back at his house.
Okay.
So his shop is somewhere else.
The ratty old barn. It's got a little basketball hoop on it.
Oh, yeah, I see the basketball hoop. Yeah, what's inside there?
Boy, I don't know.
Unreleased Babe Ruth baseball cards?
We got a barn door. Oh, you think? They're somewhere. Somewhere he's keeping them.
Part of this movie for sure. For sure. So
you can do that in one of your fan spinoffs, or what'd you call
fan
it?
fictions. Fanfic. We call it for short.
Fanfic.
Would you write
No.
Fast and Furious fan fiction? Wow, that's a mouthful. Fast and Furious fan fiction.
I'm not a big writer.
Would you brainstorm? Maybe create a Venn diagram?
Yeah, kind of like speak it, and then like it'll
dictate
it.
Yeah.
I would dictate it.
I'll scribe, you dictate.
Or I could edit. Like, I'm good at critiquing. Like, it's not so good. You could have done better.
Yeah.
You should change that.
Yeah.
Like that book you wrote.
Right.
I'm like halfway through.
That was like 3 years ago.
I just saw it the other day. I'm like, I should probably give that back to Ryan. That's like the original.
That's
copy.
the only copy.
The only copy.
Other than digital.
It was a good book.
Yeah.
But
it
I
needs
had
some
a
updating.
couple things you could improve.
Yeah. And that's the end of minute 56.
I'm kidding. It was a great book.
Oh, thank you.
So everybody go buy Husband with Kids.
Yeah.
On Amazon.
It's not on Amazon yet, but
it's not.
I never published it.
All right.
It was still,
if you
it's still in the editing phase.
Leave us a 5-star review. You can be signed up to win either a T-shirt or a copy of Ryan's book.
Also, in case anybody didn't know, we are showing the minute that we're talking about each week or each episode.
Yeah.
It's twice a week.
Right.
Every Tuesday and Saturday.
Right. Unless you're on the West Coast, then it's
still Tuesday and Saturday.
It's a 3-hour difference.
Later. But we show the minute on Instagram, so you can watch it there, know what we're talking about, and you can head over to YouTube and watch us talk about it.
Yeah. If you want to see our faces. Pretty small, unless you have like a really big TV. We're like small in the corner, but you can see
us.
The video, the scenes we're paused on.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
So our YouTube, what's the handle?
You just got to type in granny shifting.
Yeah, it'll be the only
And YouTube's going to be like, did you mean granny shifting?
Yeah, no
and
G.
you're like, no.
IN apostrophe.
Yeah, it will pop right up. Top one.
Yeah.
And after we get...
Or Facebook, Granny Shift Pod, or Instagram, Granny Shift Pod.
And once we get to 1,000 subscribers...
On YouTube?
We're going to give virtual high fives.
Oh, we can do better than that. We'll come up with some good. 1,000 subscribers.
That's a lot of subscribers. We can do it.
We can do it.
We got 4 so far.
I mean, until we finish the movie series, 10 years from now, I think we'll... oh, man, these movies get longer.
I know. It's going to be pretty nuts. And I have extended editions, so...
Yeah.
Anyways, let's wrap this thing up. Minute 56 is over. Thanks for listening. I'm Ryan.
I'm Jason.
And don't forget...
When he's winning...